Manchester United 3, Brentford 4. Not an enjoyable experience by any means if you're a Manchester United fan. However, as I've said in one of my previous videos, we can actually draw some extremely valuable insights and lessons from these, let's face it, dead rubber games. Without any further ado, let's analyze. All right, let's get started with this video. And in this particular video, I'm not going to focus on tactics as much as I'm going to focus on the one thing I believe could have a massive impact on our performances and results next season, i.e. the players' decision-making in the final third. And in fact, you can see that incisive, intentional, ruthless decision-making in all 3 goals that we have scored. And so this is definitely something we have to pay attention to in the preseason ahead of next season. So let's start with the first goal, the Mason Mount goal. In my opinion, probably one of my favorite Manchester United goals this season. Starts on the left-hand side with Garnacho. This ball with the outside of his right foot is excellent. Just pass the ball and move into position. That's where you can be threatening. Here, Kobbie Mainoo's ball is just the right ball, the right timing, the right weight of this pass, because Garnacho was actually facing the possibility of being offside. And Kobbie Mainoo, who, let's face it, let's be frank here, has been guilty many times of holding on to the ball a little bit too much. Right now, he just played the right ball. This is the right ball. There's no other ball he could have played that is better than this one. And here, Mason Mount, of course, showing his tactical intelligence and ability to read the game, in that he knows that if the ball goes toward Garnacho, then the next ball is going to be somewhere here. So he's getting ready with his run. And here, of course, now Garnacho identifies the run that Mason Mount is making. And here's something that Garnacho himself and Diogo Dalot, mainly in the game against Steaua Bucharest, have been guilty of, because sometimes both of them, being right-footed, they hesitate sometimes in making these first ball with their weaker foot, the left foot. But that's exactly the ball that you have to play, because when you catch the opposition with their pants down, as was the case here, you have to punish them. You have to be ruthless. And that's just the right cross from Garnacho. And of course, with the right run from Mason Mount. And here Mason Mount also shows his superior finishing, because he opens his body up, flattens his foot, and that's just a perfect finish. And again, this is just a beautiful Manchester United goal, mainly because every Manchester United player, including Garnacho, Kobbie Mainoo, and Mason Mount, have done exactly what they needed to do in that particular situation in order to enable us to score this goal. Now, let me show you a few examples of when it doesn't work out, okay? Because I cannot just show you the good, I have to show you the bad as well. Now, this should have been another Manchester United goal. Again, as you can see, Garnacho, he's in an offside position right here, but his movement here is absolutely amazing, okay? So as the ball goes wide towards Mason Mount, look at Garnacho, he's moving inside in a position where he can receive the ball from Mason Mount, just allowing the defenders to go further ahead of him to open up this pocket of space right here. But then the finish. What happened, Alejandro Garnacho? What was that, okay? That was absolutely unacceptable from a Manchester United player. And of course, Garnacho has improved a lot this season. I think this is his best season as a Manchester United player, but he should have done better in that situation. But Garnacho has been probably our key player in this game. Absolutely fantastic, because here we had another opportunity again between Garnacho and Mason Mount. But here Garnacho playing a 1-2 with Amas. Young Amas, who is still a little bit raw, still needs some space and time to develop away from the spotlight, just plays the right pass right here. And what I like about Garnacho is that what we've seen from Garnacho in previous games, previous seasons, is that he's a little bit young, a little bit naive, and too eager. He wants to do everything by himself. But here in this game, I am noticing maturity from Garnacho in that he passes the ball and then just runs into space. That is actually much smarter, because you cannot just dribble your way into the opposition's goal, but the ball is going to travel much faster than you. Just pass it and move into space where you can receive the ball again. And here, that's exactly what he did with Harry Amas. And then he's able to play this ball from the byline, again, towards this position right here, just taking the Brentford player away from the game. And then Mason Mount, double miss, because he had another opportunity. And here, another sequence that just shows the missed opportunities from Manchester United. And here, the big culprit is, of course, Christian Eriksen, just to show you how wasteful we are. And Christian Eriksen, I think we've missed the creativity of players like Eriksen and Bruno Fernandes in this game. So when Christian Eriksen, entered into the scene, we looked a little bit better in midfield. We had a little bit more control of the ball. and his wide range of passes kind of opened up the game a little bit more. But here in this sequence, look what he does. I mean, Garnacho is making this move right here. This is the ball. This is the ball that Christian Eriksen needs to play, either left foot or outside of the right foot into the path of Garnacho, who can then shoot onto goal. And Garnacho made just the right move. And yet, Christian Eriksen goes for this ball. Sure, I mean, you could say, okay, Harry Hamas could have gone into this area and then crosses it. But, you know, still, Harry Hamas is still young. You cannot really entrust him to execute that ball to perfection. The right ball should have been that Garnacho ball. And here we can see it again. Look, I mean, it could not be any clearer. No way he's going to be offside. This ball right here, that's it. And that could have been a Manchester United equalizer. But then Christian Eriksen again made the wrong decision. But here, it's Christian Eriksen's redemption, because here again, he shows his ability to actually make the decision in the right time, in the right place. Here, he just lets the ball go behind him. But look at this. He just drops a little bit deeper to receive the ball. And then here, Garnacho again, he doesn't attempt to dribble his way past everybody. No, he actually plays off Christian Eriksen. And this is very important because with Christian Eriksen stepping away from Norgard is effectively the number 6, the shield in this Brentford system. They play 4-3-3. Sometimes it turns into a 4-4-2 diamond kind of shape. So Norgard is pretty much their last line of defense in midfield. So as long as he's here, you don't really have much space in these dangerous areas right here. But by taking him out, there is nobody covering this area. So Garnacho plays off Christian Eriksen. And here Christian Eriksen does what you're supposed to do. One touch pass. That's it. Don't let them regroup. And here Norgard is simply taken out because that is the area that Norgard was supposed to protect. But now he's simply taken out because of the play between Garnacho and Christian Eriksen. And then here Garnacho does what every inside forward does in this situation. Smash it into the top corner. And that's just a beautiful, wonderful finish. Now, Amad Diallo's goal is even more impressive when it comes to the decision-making and especially the runs made by the players in the final third. Here we have Amad Diallo again using his technique to keep the ball in these kind of tricky situations. Then Chido Obi, here one of his strengths, and it's something that I've highlighted in my video of Chido Obi, is his hold-up play under pressure right here. He's playing against experienced center backs, and yet he's able to keep the ball. But now what happens is, first of all, Amad Diallo. So at first he was here towards the middle, but now as the right wing back, he moves back into the wide areas. Lindelof towards Ugarte, who was already scanning the surrounding area, does not wait. He just plays this pass towards Amad Diallo. But then now the magic happens. Because look, these two runs right here by Chido Obi towards the penalty spot, and then Kobe Mainoo in this half space over here. But effectively what they're doing now is that they're creating the space by taking Damsgaard and Van der Berg with them. So now it opens up this corridor, which we know now, and I think Amad Diallo is really developing into an Arjen Robben type of player where you know that he's going to cut on his left, but he does it anyway, can cut in and then score this beautiful, wonderful goal. So again, all three Manchester United goals were made possible with the players' decision making and off the ball movement in the final third. And of course, also I showed you and I highlighted examples of when the Manchester United players are not as incisive, as intentional, and as ruthless with their decision making and off the ball movement. All right, so I'm sure many of you might have picked up on it by now, but I do have a background in business and economics. So every time I think about football, I always look at it through the prism of business and economics. And of course, the holy grail of quality management is a concept called TQM, Total Quality Management, which relies on a very simple yet elegant idea. The idea of internal customers. That means every employee within an organization sees their colleagues as their customers. So they try to do their absolute best at their job in order to make it easier and to enable whoever is next in line in the process to do their job to the best of their ability. And that eventually snowballs until that organization starts producing outputs of the highest quality. And this concept, in my opinion, applies perfectly to football, because if you want to raise the bar of quality output in a football team, then every single player has to play their role within that system to perfection. And that's something that I think has been lacking at Manchester United. We've seen it a few times. In fact, against Brentford, we've seen it on our way to score the 3 goals, and yet we still lost the game because we are not doing it consistently, and also we are not doing it on the other side of the field when it comes to defending. But this is not something that we can coach. I mean, we can talk about transfers. We can talk about who the next manager should be. But we also have to point the finger at the players, okay? This is under 15 coaching, okay? Current Manchester United players, any player who plays in the Premier League, heck, even League One, okay? They know this kind of stuff, but they just need to focus, okay? They have to be 100% committed to the cause. And the question that I'm asking here is, are we actually seeing that 100% focus and commitment from the Manchester United players? And I highly doubt it. But that's the one thing I believe can have a dramatic impact on our performances next season, on our chances on competing for the league, or at least for the top 4 places next season. Anyway, guys, I hope that you've enjoyed this tactical analysis video. If you did, please give it the thumbs up. Until next time, cheers.